Desserts typically come at the end of a meal, but Maine is first in the nation when it comes to the origins of certain confections.
Joy Hollowell joins us now with the latest edition of We the People.
Maine is a state that takes its desserts very seriously. A new book called New England Sweets has the history on some of Maine's more famous treats.
I think whoopie pies, like a lot of treats we eat today, probably had multiple origins.
And according to author Susan Bregman's research, all of those stories start in the 1920s. While Pennsylvania and even Massachusetts have claimed origin to the cake and icing concoction,
the main story originates in Labadee's Bakery in Lewiston, and they started selling their whoopie pies in 1925.
In 2011, a bill to make the whoopie pie Maine's official state dessert was put forward in the state legislature, but it was amended to state treat. Instead, wild Maine blueberry pie became Maine's official state dessert.
So Needham's have a long history in Maine and a really, I would say, fantastical origin story.
It begins with a confectioner in Auburn named John Seavey.
And one day in 1872, one of his workers showed him a chocolate-covered coconut candy.
Seavey decided to market it, but first he needed a name. That's where George Needham comes in. He was an evangelist that came to New England from Ireland.
There's a story in the New York Times from, the early 1900s that says that he was actually 10 years old when he was on a ship going from Ireland to South America, and the captain and the crew of the ship somehow beat him, tortured him, tattooed him, and dumped him in Patagonia.
The newspaper claims young Needham was then captured by a band of cannibals that considered him a tasty treat. But then, as the story goes, they saw his tattoos, and because they were superstitious, they let Needham go. Now, it's unclear if that's why Seavey chose the name Needham's for his candy. It is clear, according to Bregman, that the original commercial Needham's did in fact have coconut in them. Potatoes became a replacement in the early 20th century when Mainers began making Needham's at home.
Something called Bangor brownies started showing up in cookbooks around 1900. There was a housewife in Bangor who was making a chocolate cake for her guests, left out the baking powder, and they were kind of flat, and she just went with it.
Bregman says the person pushing that story at the time, the longtime food columnist for the Bangor Daily News.
Her name was Mildred Brown Schrumpf. Her nickname happened to be Brownie.
I don't know if you're familiar with
New England Cupboard owns the rights to the original Bangor brownie mix. Owner Jim Collins says all these years later, it's still a popular item.
We do sell quite a bit of it. Around the holidays, people like to give them as gifts. Out-of-staters will order them.
And if you are interested in trying out the original Bangor, Maine brownie mix for yourself, New England Cupboard is offering free shipping for WABI viewers for the rest of this month. Just type in brownie in the discount code box at checkout. And if you'd like to purchase a copy of New England Sweets, well, this is available at bookstores as well as online at arcadiapublishing.com and Amazon.